What a qualifying we've just had for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and wow, some unexpected results there in the beautiful city of Jeddah. I love the night circuits, the way that it's lit up. It just absolutely looks fantastic seeing Formula One cars driving around the street circuit. And we got quite a few surprises for you. And no, it's not Max Verstappen on pole. Sergio Perez takes pole position. Yes, is no shock that there's a Red Bull up front, but to be honest, it looked quite close in Q2 with Alonso just 0.1 off Perez in that session. And that's where all the shocks came. But let's go through it. Q1 started and it was quite a scruffy session, to be honest, with quite a few drivers. Logan Sargent had a bit of a shocker, unfortunately for him. It looked like he would have had the pace, but just couldn't get a clean lap in. His first lap was deleted for track limits. He went over the actual white line on the pit entrance, and it was what he was called in for, and that was deleted, and then just couldn't get another clean lap in. He ran wide on his final lap, and that cost him, unfortunately. So it's gone from what was a really good weekend last weekend to not so good this weekend, and he'll start last, unfortunately, but I'm sure he'll have the race pace to move forward from there. Another poor session was for Lando Norris. He hit the wall and then that was it. He had some sort of issue, they couldn't repair that in time for him to get a lap in, and he'll start the race 19th, so massive disappointment from him. Nick De Vries, his sort of career hasn't started off fantastically, has it? He's going to start in P18. Alex Albon in 17th. Williams not had the pace in qualifying like we've seen last weekend. This weekend, I'm not sure what happened with that one. And Yuki Tsunoda in 16th place. The stars of that session though was Nico Hülkenberg. He looked absolutely brilliant. He was P7 and Zhou Guanyu was in P9. Verstappen led the way from Perez. It was a Red Bull 1-2 and it looked ominous from that point onwards. Alonso was half a second behind Verstappen in that session, and it just looked like it was going to be a clear winner on that one. Q2, and we got the big surprise. Max Verstappen went out. He looked like he lost some sort of drive. They say it might be a drive shaft issue. It could look some sort of transmission issue. He did come over saying that there's an issue with the engines, that it's not sort of driving, but its engine didn't sound as if that there was, nuts and bolts flying everywhere in that one. So it looks more like a transmission issue. Maybe gearbox, but he had downshift issues, as you remember, in Bahrain last weekend. But he'll start P15, no doubt. I can see him winning from there. They just look in a league or in their own, do Red Bull, and the only issue that they'll have is reliability, and he's probably glad he's got that out of the way today rather than that showing its head in the race tomorrow, because that's where the points are handed out. So no doubt I'll see him on the podium from there tomorrow at least, and Saudi is a track where you can overtake down them long straights, so it'll be a brilliant race to watch to see him come through the field from P15. Bottas will start P14 and then Magnussen 13th. You'll see Charles Leclerc, who qualified actually in second place, had quite a good qualifying session in the end, but he'll start in 12th place with his 10-second penalty for the engine issue, the control unit that they've replaced on that. And so it was actually Zhou Guanyu who qualified in 12th place in qualifying. Nico Hülkenberg 11th, obviously moving up to 10th, 9th. 10th, sorry, Zhu 11th with that move. It was a scruffy session for Carlos Sainz in Q2, to be honest with you. He just couldn't get a lap in. He was looking like he might go out at one point, but on his last lap managed to put it all together and got out in 4th place. Magnussen would be disappointed with that. He finished in P13th, again out qualified by his new teammate Hülkenberg, so that would put him in a bit of a a bit of pressure. He had a brilliant season last season. Ocon was a star in that one, P7, and Gasly P10. The Alpine showing some pace in that session there, got themselves into Q3 brilliantly with that one. I think the Haas will be disappointed, especially because they started Q1 really, really well, and they were knocked out by the two Alpines. And then we got to Q3, and it was, well, it looked like we could be in for a really tough one, to be honest with you, because Alonso was just 0.1 of a second off Perez in Q2, but he put in an absolute mega lap, did Sergio Perez. He was half a second clear of the field, and he beat Leclerc into second place, but he'll start 12th, so it'll be Alonso alongside him. He'll be very happy with that. It'll be brilliant to see them two going into the first corner fight tomorrow. You know, he's a massively aggressive Alonso, and for him to get a chance at leading the race, I'm sure he'll take that with both hands. He's always been mega off the start as well, as we've seen over the years with that cheeky move he normally pulls around the outside, so let's see how he can work that magic tomorrow. George Russell will be absolutely mega happy with his performance. P3 in that session. He's been faster than Hamilton all weekend. He just seems to be on it, and he'll be very, very happy. 1-1 between them two, or 2-0 to George Russell in qualifying. Hopefully he can beat Hamilton in the race tomorrow is what he'll be hoping for. But yeah, they beat the Ferraris, or at least one Ferrari on pace in Carlos Sainz, did George Russell, and an Aston Martin, so they'll be very happy with that. You know, Leclerc and Alonso did get ahead of Russell in the session, but obviously Leclerc starting further back. But P3, let's see if he can hold on for some good points, or even fight for that podium, but I think that'll be tough with Max coming through the field, and I think the Aston Martins have got too much for him on that one, but we never know. We could be in some more shockers, because I thought it'd be a Red Bull 1-2 with the way they were flying at the start of this session. Carlos Sainz starting in 4th place. As I say, he had scruffy qualifying, and it never looked like he's going to beat his teammate. He's got work to do on that front. Lance Stroll starting in 5th place. Ocon 6th place, so good qualifying for him, to be honest. He beat his teammate Gasly. He'll start in 9th. Hamilton was P7 for him. He just didn't seem to be able to get to grips with the car. I don't think he beat his teammate in any of the sessions, to be honest with you. And never really put in a clean lap. Even his last lap, didn't even put in any personal best in first or second. So he'll be disappointed. There's hopefully more to come from him in the race tomorrow. Piastri was absolutely brilliant. He'll start the race in P8. Brilliant job for him from McLaren, and they'll be really pleased with that. They had a shocker last weekend. I know Norris is starting way back, but brilliant to see Piastri doing really well in that McLaren. Hopefully he can score some points tomorrow for them. Gasly will start in P9, Hülkenberg P10, and that rounds off the top 10 in the field. It looked like we'll be in for a brilliant race tomorrow. It looked like we would just see the Red Bulls both race away, but with Max Verstappen in P15, Perez is good around here. He got pole last year, and he's always brilliant on street circuits, so you should expect him to run off with the pace of that Red Bull. They're in a league of their own, but whether Alonso can pass him and see what he can do in holding and keeping Perez behind him. He managed that in Bahrain, and Perez sort of struggled until the second stint there, so it's all possible tomorrow. But yeah, it lines up for an exciting, and right behind them everybody's really close together. I mean, there's just a tenth or so between them, so it'll be a right battle between the rest of them up there. Massive disappointment Ferrari. I don't know where their pace went. I really expected them to be a lot closer, but they're at least half a second, if not more, off the Red Bulls here. They sort of seems like they're still nursing some issues and some concerns, especially with their engine, and obviously the reliability issues they had in Bahrain. Hopefully that doesn't rear its head tomorrow and we do get a cracking race, but I'm really looking forward to it with the way the grid has just sort of fallen out. we should be in for some brilliant racing. And I absolutely love the Saudi circuit. We always get some drama, safety cars in every race, and virtual safety cars in every race we've seen there of the last two. I mean, there's only two, so not much to go, but I'm expecting more tomorrow, considering we had issues and drivers going off in qualifying. I expect more tomorrow, so it should be a brilliant race. I'll see you with a video after that. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment. See you tomorrow.